Where to begin? Where to begin? I just witnessed Apple TV's newest feature, the Martin Scorsese directed and Leonardo DiCaprio led Killers of the Flower Moon. A 3.5-hour period piece over discussing the issues of the time involving the Osage Nation, the Native American tribe. It is a very interesting premise based off of a book, but I must say that the way I just can't give it full credit. I think there's just something missing, and it's always like, there's always that gut feeling that stops me from rating a movie higher or lower, and that gut feeling popped into this movie, and it's one of those things where it's just that feeling that you get, and it just shivers down your spine, and you never know exactly why you have an issue, but you just have an issue with the film, and this was one of them. As far as it goes, it is very well directed. Let's get to it. Let's just start. The story is pretty simple. There is a string of murders involving these Native Americans who have lost their land due to the finding of oil in their land, and so they get a bunch of money from the government to pay them for using their land to dig out oil. And so then a lot of white people come in and start marrying these Native Americans to mooch off of their oil money. And so as it goes along, we have our main character who marries this Native American woman. And so we have Leonardo DiCaprio and Lily Gladstone together going through the time. And it ends with the murder podcast. That's pretty much the story. Did I poorly explain it? Maybe, but that's what I got from the film. And I don't want to get into too much spoiler talk, as I do try to keep it spoiler-free here on the channel nowadays. And if I ever do spoilers, there's a spoiler section at the end. But, it's just, something about it ticks me. So the story will be a Hot Pocket score. Visually, it is stunning, breathtaking. From what I heard, they filmed on site and had the help of the actual Osage people, which was very cool. So with all of that, the music was also really good. The score, brilliant. I'll give it a hand grenade score for that. Directing, Martin Scorsese doesn't really go wrong, but I do think that this film is on the weaker side of his catalog, because the whole time watching this film, I'm thinking of The Departed and how similar this film is with The Departed, but The Departed is just better crafted in terms of the narrative flow and the pacing, and half an hour shorter. So I do think that this movie needed this long runtime. I just think it wasn't very narratively sound and narratively consistent the whole way through, which is my main issue with this film. Acting, I am going to have to admit, a lot of these performances... Oh, yeah, sorry, almost forgot. Directing, hand grenade score. But now, the acting and the performances, I'm gonna be honest, was pretty disappointed. The performances just didn't bring that emotion that I was expecting from the names involved. The best performance of the film, in my opinion, is Jesse Plemons. He does a great job, and then Brendan Fraser just shows up and steals the scene. And, he's not even in it. Those two characters aren't even in it for, 2/3 of the movie. But those two characters are the best performances that I will forever remember. De Niro does a great De Niro in like most of his mafia movies, and DiCaprio does well. It's just that to me they were still De Niro and DiCaprio, while Jesse Plemons felt like this federal agent and Brendan Fraser felt like this corrupt lawyer. And so I was pretty disappointed in the performances, especially since I was expecting so much from this cast. It is just a matter of I think my expectations for this film were way too high because they fell flat on almost every aspect. And like I had a friend who at the end of the film was like, this is gonna win some Oscars because I didn't understand anything. And then I go, tell me one thing you think this will win an Oscar for, and then I'll tell you a movie that will actually win it, that has a higher chance of winning it. And then she's like, I'm not that invested in that, actually. And I'm like, yeah, you know why I even said that? Because I'm so certain. Because this movie has the unfortunate task of facing Oppenheimer, which, in my opinion, is very similar specs. The only difference is that Oppenheimer is a million times more engaging, more narratively sound, and even more visually stunning. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, I think expectations were too high for this film on my end. I was disappointed by it, especially by the performances. Performances, I will have to give a Hot Pocket score because they just didn't blow me out of the water. And as I was mentioning already, expectations and experience, I just couldn't hold it in. I was let down. We had a huge group, and we had 11 people go see this film. None of them could say wholeheartedly that they loved this film. Only one of us had also read the book. I'm excited to see what his thoughts and opinions are on this film. He said he was going to sleep on it. If push comes to shove, when he's on Letterboxd. When he's up, I will maybe link his review down in either the comments or the description, because I'm intrigued to see what his point of view on this film is, being the only one who has read the book. Because I think I've determined, I've said it to myself immediately after, that I will need to read the book and watch the movie, or watch it again, to give a final grade. But at the moment, this is a hand grenade film, and a rather bland hand grenade at that as well. I'm gonna be honest, this was almost disappointing enough to be a Hot Pocket hand grenade, but it still had the craft and the Martin Scorsese, benefit to it, because it was well directed, it was well shot, it just wasn't well constructed narratively, and it just left me and a bunch of my pals confused when watching the film. That is all I have to say for this film. Check it out, because it is worth checking out on the big screen, but I must say that I personally was a little disappointed with it. This so far may be my most disappointing feature of the year, because I had such high hopes for it. Other than that, leave a like if you enjoyed the review, leave a dislike if you completely disagree with everything I just said, and comment down below what I missed or what you personally thought of the film. And subscribe if you haven't already, and other than that, I will leave you guys to it.